I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
Revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting. This is the value of wrestling. The revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Let's get in there. There we go. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are back in living color right here on the Value of Wrestling with your Monday Night Raw review for December 4th, 2023. You know it. All right, we are looking live. We are looking good. We are looking solid. Let's get into our introductions. First up, my partner for the night, Paulus Clarke. Oh, you know it. And of course, you know me. It's me on the big time. And I'm here, la-da-da-da. We're going to get this show started like it's a party. Oh, yeah. And unmistakably, unexcusably, undeniably absent, Mr. Z, wherever you are. Mr. Z, where are you? You better be showing up. I got a cat back here going crazy, so excuse me if something goes bizarro weird right now. She seems to calm down at the moment. Hey, chill. Anyways, we're here to review Monday Night Raw, and we are here live. Well, we'll see if Mr. Z decides to show his butt up at some point during this show. And, yeah.
All kinds of things happening.
Yep. Anyways, we will get into this show and we will talk about it. Welcome to the party. If you're in the chat, please feel free to join the conversation. Hello, welcome to the party. If you're here joining the party, joining the conversation. And my green screen's creeping closer to me. All right. So we opened the show with, let's scroll over here, not over there. You stay there. We opened the show with Drew McIntyre. He's in the ring. He makes his shootout. His statement about you can do whatever you want, go wherever you want, cry whatever you want, and then come back. Gets the crowd to chat CM Punk, and he's like, oh, come on, I could be talking about anybody. McIntyre talks about Jey Uso apologizing to Randy. And then last week with Sami Zayn getting in his face. Yep. So that cues in Sami Zayn to come in and interrupt him. And they have their stare down. They're talking back and forth, and they're battling out before they go into their match. And we get Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre to start off the night. A good, solid match here. It does everything it needs to do. Went a good 20 minutes. Sami tweaked his ankle or leg at some point in the match, and that's pretty much what they sold it as. Sami was trying to overcome his injury and stay alive. He kept slipping by and getting out of every opportunity that McIntyre had until McIntyre finally realized that Sami was injured, and McIntyre hit him with a chop block, which knocked him down. And as Sammy was getting up with the ref there, Drew McIntyre charged at him with a Claymore, hitting the pin at 20 minutes, 6 seconds. Good, solid match. Good way to open the show. Was one of the highlights of the night, which kept this show from possibly being just overall boring, but a decent showing here between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Your thoughts on the opening match for the night?
I thought it was great. And let's go back to the promo for a second before the match. He literally could be talking about anyone, including himself, in a sense.
In a sense, yes.
I mean, it's like we all know who he's talking about. We know who he's hinting at. But that feeds for down the line. So for tonight, we're just going to talk about Sami Zayn. And we're going to talk about, I thought it was a great match. It was a solid TV match.
Yeah, it was a good match, yes.
And it opened the show. Like, we got spoiled tonight, I felt like. And we'll get into that as we review the show overall. But I thought it was great.
Yeah, this match is good. I mean, I think it made a good opening for the show. From there, we had Shayna Baszler, and she's ready to hurt you-know-who. Then we get a video on Jey Uso, who wants his first singles title shot tonight. We look at his entire career. We build up to some more Jey Uso in this. And then we get more of Sami Zayn. He's sitting on a crate in the back being looked at by the medical staff when Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere and starts attacking him again, beats him down, and jumps on his ankle again. And post-match, we get Adam Pearce and the other two bald twins of training there. We had the three stooges of baldness there at the moment. And then Jey Uso comes running on to check about Sami Zayn. From there, of course, that sets up, continues the feud between Drew McIntyre, Sami, Jey, all the other stuff that was kind of being built here with mostly what the premise of the show was pretty much about. Anyways, we get a interview with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch still has some names on her list, and then she gets interrupted by the woman who has no name, because we will not mention her name on here. And Becky says, yes, you're number one. And the woman who has no name says after she squashes Shayna Baszler tonight, they can get it on like a Donkey Kong, which leads us to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. That's what you expect between these two. Neither very impressive. It was a match. It was a match. I mean, the woman with no name and Shayna Baszler, it's sad to see Shayna Baszler still being thrown under. Why the woman with no name gets another win. I guess they're trying to build her up to be a contender. We know she's going to have a match with Becky. Becky told us that, she still owes her a receipt. But otherwise, it was a match. I didn't see anything particularly special about it. It was filler. I think it's a shame to see Shayna Baszler to continue just getting fed to people. But your thoughts on the Nameless One and Shayna Baszler?
I thought this was a great showcase for Shayna Baszler. I thought this was not as offensive as usual for the irresistible Booch. I don't know, because to me, the whole story of the night really was we're continuing to build towards something where this is not going to be like, this was a great Raw, this was an awesome Raw, in the respect of big surprises and big matches and stuff. No, this is about continuing the stories to get to the next stage, if you will. And so it's like, so when you look at each match individually, you see what the in-ring stories are. They're building the irresistible Booch to continue to, whether they're building towards Becky, whether they're building towards Rhea. Either way, and probably both, that was the story they were telling. But within that context, they still made Shayna look decent, as opposed to just squashing her.
All right, fair enough. Post-match, of course, Becky Lynch comes out, and the Nameless One bails out in short order from there. We get a look back at CM Punk's return at Survivor Series, because why not drive that into the ground 20 million times? Andy Hartwell out and Candice LeRae are out and fired up for DIY with Imperium. DIY in a interesting 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't know if this was ever announced or if this was something they just made up at the last minute. So
They did announce it
eventually,
last week.
okay, Imperium came out and we got some back and forth trash talking, which led to DIY versus Imperium, 2 out of 3 falls. A good solid match. Kaiser to roll up Ciampa with the tights for the pin with the first fall at 4 minutes and 37 seconds. And then we get Gargano to roll up Vinci at 10 minutes and 12 seconds in this match to even things up. And then finally, DIY hits meet in the middle, finishing off Kaiser for 15 minutes 9 seconds. The overall match was 15 minutes 9 seconds. A good solid match here. It's good to see DIY actually win this. Imperium, I don't know what they're doing with Imperium. We did see later in the night, if you're watching the background, there's this new thing with WWE. Anytime they're doing backstage segment, you got to watch in the background too, because I think between when Shayna Baszler was talking to Zoe Starks in the background, way in the background, Nikki Cross was just standing there, and then during another segment, you could see. I think it was, when was it? It was another segment in the backstage area. In the back, you could see Gunther chewing out Kaiser in the shadows. So, don't know what they're doing with DIY, or with Imperium. This is a good match. At least DIY is winning. But Imperium, it's hard to swallow because I don't really know what they're going to do with Imperium. They're really leading this. I don't know what they're going to do. If they split them up, Kaiser might be okay on himself. I don't know if Vinci will. Gunther will be fine, but Imperium seems to be a force. Hopefully they fix whatever they're aiming for. I don't know. Maybe Gunther, again, I think maybe Gunther needs to take him to some basement or somewhere and just beat the snot out of him to get him back in shape and on the same page. Well, you got to have something to fix it, and I don't know what that fix is. Splitting them apart just doesn't seem right. And doesn't seem relevant. It seems a mess. Glad DIY finally got the win here, and hopefully we're going to build on DIY. But it's hard to kind of get excited with the DIY win when I don't know what they're going to do next. But this was a good match for what it was. 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't know if it was necessary at this point for a 2 out of 3 falls match, but it was a good solid match. Your thoughts?
I think a part of the point is just to get DIY over as far as the in-ring work gets done. They're eventually going to get to the storytelling as far as personalities and characters and all that. You've noticed it's been a slow burn, but there's every time they come out, they're a little more over with the live audience. It's a little more over. And so I think that's what tonight's point was. My favorite thing about tonight is one, yes, DIY needed to win tonight. But Imperium can say, if this were just a one-on-one, one fall match, they would have won tonight if it were just one-on-one.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a way to continue this rivalry if they choose to. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. That's what I need for my boys. Because all this potential breakup crap, no.
Yeah. Anyways, we get Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in the back interrupting Tegan Nox and Natalya to mock their loss. Natalya says they're still coming after the women's tag team titles. Why? I don't get it. And so we know that Natalya and Tegan Nox are going to take on Caden Carter and Katana Chance later. Anyways, then we're a really weird segment, which I don't think helps anything because it just keeps ruining. Are you building the tag team, or is it gonna be a joke? This was just stupid to me. I don't get why the New Day were on the Creed's shoulders as the Creeds were doing exercises. The Creeds just beat the New Day. Shouldn't you guys be a little upset, or even if you came out and gave them respect? This is another goofball waste of building anything. So you had the Creed brothers there with the New Days doing exercises with the New Day. Then put the New Days down. The New Days were like, yeah, we lost to you, but you did good, yay! And then the Alpha Academy all come walking in, and Chad Gable's, well, if you're ready to take it to the next level, I don't know. This is the comedy aspect of the show. The Creed brothers don't want Chad Gable's help. They're going to use Ivy Nile as their secret weapon, and then they give praise to Maxine Dupree, who does squats with Akira Tozawa. A total waste of a segment here that doesn't do anything for anybody. It doesn't help make any of these tag teams feel important. It just makes them all look like goofball jokes, and I'm just like, you got certain things that are coming with the New Day, which are fine. You got certain things with the Alpha Academy that are going to be a little comedic with Otis and now Akira Tozawa in there. You're having these Creed brothers undefeated, but you're throwing them in with these guys. So it's like, yeah, I just don't. To me, another lost segment. Huh?
We get it. We get it. You don't enjoy comedy segments in your wrestling.
It depends, but I mean, this doesn't make any sense. There was no sense to making it.
In the modern WWE, when have you ever praised a comedy segment?
Well, I was going to praise the next one, and then I praised it the other night when R-Truth was there eating all the jelly rolls, and they had Jelly Roll on the show, so...
Fair.
So, I mean, this one, I don't know.
Funny. I thought it was funny, Maxine Dupree, not bench pressing, but, doing the...
squatting, yeah. Akira Tozawa.
Like, she wasn't going to do that with Otis. So,
oh, yeah.
It had to be someone that she could actually lift up, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't take much to entertain me, but I also look at it as entertainment. Like, I don't expect it to be a serious moment.
Yeah. Well, but
it is what you're saying. It is. It basically is just filler. That's all it is. So you have to accept it for what it is and then move on.
Yes, but I mean, are we going to build our tag team division, or is this what we think of our tag team division? It's a joke. I'm supposed to take the Creeds as a serious threat when they're goofing off with these guys against Judgment Day.
This is like your same argument with Daniel Garcia, okay? You worry about the gimmick so much that, like, the Creeds are winning. They're literally undefeated on the main roster, and you can't take them seriously in the ring?
Not when they put them in segments like this that just kind of makes them feel like they're not taking them seriously.
I think they're taking them plenty seriously in the ring. Outside the ring, that's another story, but...
But they haven't really... Let's see, they've beaten, DIY, who haven't really gotten over. New Day, who are kind of past their prime, and kind of a team that's completely lost and has no direction, but they keep them around for comedy. And then they beat Otis and Akira Tozawa of the Alpha Academy. So, I mean, who have they really beaten to be like they are feeling impressively dominant as a tag team?
Who do they have? Let's start with that. If you want to do,
well, that's my point. How am I supposed to take the Creed brothers seriously and believe that they're an aspect or a threat to anybody when they're not building a tag team, but they put 3 of their tag teams together in this joke segment of like, haha.
Again, it's not based on how we would book things necessarily. It's what are they presenting you with with the tools they got.
Yeah. Anyways, from there we had Judgment Day. They walk into their locker room. R-Truth there with some stupid TV. And this is when it's good because R-Truth knows how to hit the notes. And you know what R-Truth is there is for comedy. And he got a good deal on the TV. And he's just good at the... I don't know if it's scripted or if he's just good at the one-liners because they're like, you need to leave. And he's like, yeah, JD, you need to leave. JD, you got to get out of here. And they're like, no. And he's like, fine, I'll leave our room. But we need to tighten up security. And then Damian Priest sends the boys out to go wrestle the Creed brothers. I don't know what made the big brother think the little brothers could take on the Creed brothers, and especially when you watch them walk out to the ring looking like Oompa Loompas that got lost from the factory going out there. Anywho, this is a good segment, and Damian Priest, of course, is like, yeah, we need to start locking the door.
You're right about one thing. We do need to start locking the doors.
Anyways, from there, we got a tag match. Caden Carter and Katana Chance versus Tegan Nox and Natalya. I guess these, and then we had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven at ringside. I guess whoever wins here is going to get a title match. I was a little bit confused here. Carter and Chance came out with some weird guns. I don't know if they were heat guns, flame guns, fake guns, laser gun. I don't know what they exactly were. It was very confusing when they came out. In the end, with a nice move, I guess a spinning splash suplex. I don't know what you call this. I think, yeah. Carter picked up Chance in a suplex, but then Chance spun into suplex from the top rope and did a splash onto, I think, Natalya. Yeah, it was Natalya. And so Carter and Chance won at 4 minutes, 43 seconds. it's what you expect from the women's tag team division. It's hard to get into it. Tegan Knox and Natalya lose, they win. They look like a team. They don't look like a team. They look like a team. It's hard for me to get into it. And then when you don't use Carter and Chance, and now you're bringing them back on TV and they win this match, I don't know. The women's tag team division, I don't get too hyped about because it's like, again, it's kind of like the regular tag team division. It doesn't feel important or solidified or there's any reason to really get behind it. Maybe hopefully this will lead to them actually doing something where it feels important and wants to get people tuned into watching it. Your thoughts on the match?
So when I look at Tegan Knox and Natalya, I'm looking at it more like this is probably the company putting Tegan Knox with Natalya to kind of just get more reps in. Because every time she does a solo run, whether it's NXT or coming up to the main roster, she seems to get injured. So I think this is her way of kind of easing her back in and getting her known. Carter and Chance, I was actually shocked to see the win tonight from them. I didn't think they were going to, despite being a pretty well-oiled machine, I didn't think they were going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't think the company had any, anything behind investment in them. But they got the win tonight, and at least we're going to eventually see something down the line, whether it's a tag title run, not title run, maybe tag title match, excuse me, there we go.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it should make you happy. They actually look like a team.
Oh, yeah. No, and I think Tegan and Natalya tonight looked like a team again. That's why I was saying, look like a team, don't look like a team, look like a team. I'm like, if you want me to have faith in tag team wrestling in women or men, you got to make the teams feel like they're a team and feel like there's something important. And so until I see women tag team actually feeling like it's important a little more, I don't put anything into it yet. I just kind of go, okay, cool. Anyways, from there we got Cody Rhodes in the ring. Cody Rhodes wants to know why Nakamura attacked him. And we get a really good segment of why Nakamura. We got the lights going out, and Nakamura appearing on the screen, explaining that him and Cody have similar stories. They both won a Royal Rumble. They both went to WrestleMania. They both lost a chance at world titles. Nakamura is now here to take over Cody's story. I can't get behind this. I'm assuming this is going to be next week. That's right. So they've rushed this. Nakamura's built up this whole storyline. Then it turns out to be Cody, and now we're rushing it to next week. And I can't get behind it because Cody can't lose, and Nakamura losing again, I don't know how you can do anything after he loses to Cody with the Nakamura character that you built. I love the Nakamura character, but you're not putting him in a storyline where he feels like he can win. He can't win against Cody because Cody can't lose. This is why I'm just like, I feel bad because I'm like, this could be great for Nakamura to help him continue, but Cody can't lose right now. That's Cody's story. He can't lose. He can not win the Royal Rumble and continue the story, but he really just can't take a loss. So I'm like, and then they're rushing it like to next week. It's like we barely just had Nakamura attack Cody, and Cody like, let's come out and fight. And now we're getting a booked Nakamura-Cody match. Of course, we don't know for sure. We could get some screwy angle. Nakamura could not show up. Of course, I know you got to give something to Cody to do until we get to Rumble and mix it up with Nakamura. But, I mean, the only thing I can assume is maybe we're going to get Cody Nakamura, but we're going to get something where Nakamura is going to do something or cheat or escape, or maybe we don't get the match. Nakamura's going to attack Cody before. I don't know what we're exactly going to get here. I feel like this needs to be stretched out a little more. Like it feels we went from Nakamura attacking Cody to responding to Nakamura, and I mean that's 3 weeks, but I mean you still have 6 weeks before Royal Rumble. So I'm like, I think you could stretch this out at least till the end of the year. It's just to keep Cody busy until we get to the Rumble, but it's like the only thing I don't like is Nakamura just lost this. Nakamura's got this character, but he's pretty much losing to everybody. So it's like, how much longer can this character be viable if he's a loser? And where does he pick up this big win that he needs to feel important again? Because he's not winning against Cody. I don't care what anybody says. Cody can't lose. Your thoughts?
Cody can lose if that's what they want him to do. But with that saying, according to another podcaster, he said he would book Nakamura to win to give Cody more adversity, and he has to rebuild that equity of, facing the adversity on the road to WrestleMania. And that's one of your favorite podcasters, by the way.
I don't agree with that one because Nakamura is nobody. Nakamura doesn't have any value. Yes, him beating Cody would, help Nakamura climb, but I don't think it does anything. It just Nakamura doesn't have any value to bring into it.
The argument that the other podcaster brings is Cody's built, and Cody will, because we already know this. The end game is WrestleMania and Roman Reigns.
Yes.
So his argument is to build Nakamura, at least off of one match.
I don't see it. I just can't see Cody losing. Cody can't lose that momentum, and then a loss to Nakamura, I think, would do more damage to Cody. The only place I can see Cody not winning, and it's not really a loss, is I don't see him winning the Royal Rumble right now, which pushes him. His next story is to get to the Elimination Chamber, and that would be where you would have a better chance. I mean, if you weren't rushing Nakamura and you continue Nakamura until the beginning of the year, end of the year here, beginning of the year, around that time era, and you had Nakamura maybe win by nefarious means, it might be okay, and then Cody lose the Rumble, but, Cody doesn't win the Rumble. I mean, you could have Nakamura eliminate Cody to continue their feud, and you could be Nakamura could be a stopping point from Cody getting into the Elimination Chamber, meaning Cody would have to face Nakamura to get into the Elimination Chamber. But if you built it all the way through to that, at least I felt like Nakamura would be a bigger threat to Cody than he is right this moment. Like, he's not a threat to Cody. That's just why I'm like, I want to see Nakamura's character be a threat is the bigger assumption. But I look at him right now and I'm like, he's not really a threat to where Cody stands because he just lost to Seth. But it's like if they were to stretch this out, maybe till the end of the year and then put them in the ring, but not really have a match or have something happen or have Nakamura miss Cody before the bell rings, do something really dirty. And then both of them go in the Rumble, have Nakamura eliminate Cody, and so we haven't actually got Cody and Nakamura to really have a match. At least I feel like you'd build Nakamura to be a threat to Cody, and then he would be this, the gatekeeper for Cody to get into the Elimination Chamber. Yes, Cody's still going to win in that line, but at least I felt with that build and a little more time, Nakamura would be a bigger threat. Throwing it on next Monday's Raw, I don't see Nakamura winning for any reason. I don't see him booking it that way because it's like on a Raw, they're going to continue the story for Cody. So I'll have to wait and see. Now, of course, they may not do it. They may do some nefarious means. They may have Nakamura miss Cody before the match and get it disqualified, or Nakamura may attack Cody before the match or in the back, so the match can't happen, and we continue the feud longer. I just feel like this feud needs to be stretched out. I felt like we waited so long. Completely. We waited so long to figure out who Nakamura is talking about, and then when we found out he attacked Cody, and now Cody's challenging him, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if we're actually going to get this match. Yes, they put it out there, but the way Nakamura's character is, I don't know if Nakamura's going to show up. I don't know if Nakamura's going to miss Cody or if he's going to attack Cody from behind somehow. That's more of what I feel we're going to get from the character we got with Nakamura right now. And secondly, it's too soon, and we have too much time between now and the Rumble for them to have a feud. Mm-hmm. Because, you're not, unless you're going to have Cody wrestle Nakamura at Rumble. If you had Nakamura somehow beat Cody on Raw and then have a rematch at Rumble and then put Cody in the Royal Rumble, which I think you're overexposing Cody at that point. And Cody in the Rumble should be number one. And that's the other reason I don't think he needs to have a match at the Royal Rumble, because you need him to go from number one to the end. I think that should be Cody's story, is that he got number one. Oh, crap. Well, I'm going to face my adversity and get over this, but he doesn't. So, it's like, I don't know. So I won't be shocked if we don't actually get the match next week. I feel maybe we're being duped in to think they're going to have a match, but something's going to transpire to extend this out for the next couple of weeks before we actually get a match. And I think it would be better if after Cody doesn't win the Rumble, especially if you had Nakamura eliminate Cody from the Rumble, if he's there in the last 5 or 6, then at least you could have Nakamura and Cody face off, as Nakamura is like the gatekeeper from Cody getting an Elimination Chamber.
I'll be honest, I like your way better, but they can do whatever they want. They got the power of the pen.
No, I know. We'll have to wait and see here. From there, we get more recap on Sami Zayn's ankle. We're with Adam Pearce. He's on the phone. Jey Uso comes in. Uso's fired up about his title, and then we get Gunther walking in. Then we get the Judgment Day, or the Junior Judgment Day, as we'll call them.
The Junior Associates.
The Pee Wee team. You know, I don't even know if they're Little League. They might be T-Ball League at this point. Anywho, we get JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio to team up against the Creed Brothers.
Creed Brothers Showcase is all it was.
Yeah. R-Truth came out thinking he's part of Judgment Day. But in the end, we get the Brutus Ball on JD McDonough, who's going to eat the losses like Triple H did after the curtain call. Match went 10 minutes, 49 seconds. And it was a good, solid match. I mean, it's what you expect between these two, the British Balls. The Creed Brothers get their little showcase here. They're trying to build up the Creed Brothers, but until I feel like they take tag team wrestling serious, I'm just kind of like, nah. You can build this team dominant, but I just feel this team needs to go heel. So when I feel them hanging out with the baby faces and the goofballs, it's just like so hard for me to take them seriously. I'm hoping what we're getting set up with is that these teams are going to be around them, and kind of the things that have been very slight about the Creed Brothers kind of blowing off Gable respectfully, but there's been this little, we're going to do it our way. I feel like this would be a really good team to turn heel. They have a lot of aspects that you could say are LOD and the Steiner Brothers in them. Like, I can see where this team's going. I mean, I can feel you're looking at a new era of Steiner LOD there. Or Road Warriors, whatever you want to call them. I feel like they have that presence, they have that capability, but I'm like, this needs to be a dominant heel team on Raw. We got Judgment Day, yes, but this is really a team that I think could take the titles and go heel, turning on these other babyface teams. So I think that's part of what eggs me when I'm seeing them hang out and be like, ah! I'm like, this is a team that I feel has the presence of the Steiners and LOD, but when you put them in this comedy routine, it's like it's hard to see them there. And I'm like, they have more to them than what we're getting. So what I'm hoping is that this is a slow burn. They won't win the titles against Judgment Day. I don't know who Judgment Day is going to lose the titles to. But I'm hoping the Creeds will start to build towards a heel turn. And I think there's been little things that could be things that very minor. I mean, it's very minute things, but I'm just kind of like, I wonder if there's little things being layered in there.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So, I mean, tonight when Chad Gable was like, oh, let me teach you. And they're like, oh, no, coach, we're going to do it with our... I'm like, it may be nothing, but you could take that as of like, oh, we're going to do this on our own. We're better than all of you, especially if they're built up to beat everybody outside of Judgment Day. I don't think they're going to beat Judgment Day. They might be nice. Tag team titles do need to come up Judgment Day to start the other storylines there. And of course, you could let the Creeds win the titles, and then they could become very egotistical, narcissistic, this great team, and turn heel. And I think that's really where I want to see them go. I think they're going to shine in that aspect with everything WWE has right now. I can't think Judgment Day, yes, but I don't know any other major heel tag teams on Raw at the moment.
As they're mostly face right now.
So that's really why I'm like, okay, I'd like to see this. Your thoughts on Judgment Day Junior League and the Creed Brothers?
The Junior Associates.
The Oompa Loompas.
Like I said from the start, it's just a showcase for the Creed Brothers. But what I enjoy almost is like, how great is it to be R-Truth right now? He's getting paid a lot of money to just crack jokes.
Yep.
He ain't taking no bumps. He's done that enough in his life.
Yep.
He is living the good life right now. And it's still useful to the company.
Yep.
It's not like, he's just being a bum.
No.
Like, no, he's being useful to the company. That's like, I mean, it's like you have to be deranged to think you're a part of the Judgment Day out of nowhere. But hey, that's the role he's being given right now. So let him run with it, I guess.
But that's our truth. Our truth has been deranged for a long time. Come on. He thought he was going to be in the Royal Rumble against Paul Heyman. Anywho, from there, we're back with Adam Pearce, and he's telling Seth Rollins, and I think this is where we saw, Adam Pearce and Seth Rollins were in the back, and then if you look behind them, you could see Gunther and Ludwig, or Gunther chewing out Ludwig behind them. So you really got to start paying attention to details of the background stuff, because they're doing stuff in the background too. Anyways, Adam Pearce tells Seth Rollins that he invited CM Punk to be here next week, and Pearce is going to assign CM Punk to an exclusive contract. So we'll see. Rollins doesn't care, and I think this all plays into everything just fine. Everybody who's out here like, oh, Seth really hates CM Punk. There's a lot of heat. Blah, 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 blah. There's no heat. There's no heat with Drew. There's no heat with Seth. You saw it tonight. Seth doesn't care. Seth does not care. They wouldn't be putting Seth in these segments if there was really an issue. Rollins is like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I do, and it all blows up in your face. You're going to have to stay out of my way. Yada, yada, yada. We get CM Punk on Raw next week. Hopefully we start getting Punk more regularly on something. Hopefully not back and forth where we're watching every other week on Raw and SmackDown. Hopefully something where we get a little build. I don't think he needs to wrestle. I don't think you put him in the ring until the Royal Rumble. I think that's going to be your clincher. You put him in the Rumble, but he's not going to wrestle until he gets to the Rumble. And then after the Rumble, we can start seeing him wrestle on Raw or SmackDown or wherever they need him to wrestle. But I don't think you have Punk wrestle in a WWE ring until the Royal Rumble. You've returned him in Chicago. You got the pop. You want to get Royal Rumble hot and ready. You don't have Punk come back until the very event he last wrestled at in 2014. So 10 years he hasn't wrestled in the WWE ring. And here he is to return at the Rumble. And I think that's the perfect place for him. And hell, could you imagine Cody and CM Punk starting out number 1 and number 2? I mean, much as I like to see Gunther as number 2, I think you could have a good old time with Cody and CM Punk having a few minutes together in the ring to start off that show. Especially since you can kind of make an AEW joke and all that.
You could also ask, who's the hero now?
Yeah. And so you have them go, especially because this gives the story to both of them. Is Cody Rhodes going to be able to outlast 29 other men? Is CM Punk going to be able to outlast 29 other men? Who hasn't been in a wrestling ring, hasn't been in a WWE wrestling ring, and we haven't seen wrestle in 4 months now? Well, since the end of August, he hasn't wrestled since the end of August. So you're looking about 5 months by the time we get to the Rumble. We haven't seen in a WWE ring, and now he's got to go through a whole 29 guys to win this Rumble, which would add to his credibility when he does win the Rumble and get Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get Austin and CM Punk like a lot of people have been talking about. And, I know some people think that that's probably for the best because we don't know if Austin can really go. We know other people who tried to make comebacks and it work out so well. Austin got by with, Kevin Owens on a non-advertised match. Creating an Austin CM Punk advertised match for WrestleMania, you might build more hype than the match can actually get you. Doesn't mean you can't have. It doesn't mean that you can't get CM Punk and Austin in a ring at WrestleMania and have a moment. Again, you can have CM Punk wrestle Seth Rollins on night 1. CM Punk can beat Seth Rollins for that world title, get his what he deserves, and there's so many storylines from there that can go. And then you could have night 2 where Stone Cold's in the ring and CM Punk shows up and does they have a thing, they have a moment, a non-advertised match, but they could still, do a thing depending on how they want to do it. Then straight up having an Austin CM Punk match, which the more I think about it, as much as I like to see that match, I'm also like, I don't know if you can really sell that match and then the expectations of that match. If you were to advertise that match like now or the Rumble, the expectations that would be built up over that time might be greater than the capability of both men in the ring. Not saying Punk, not saying Punk couldn't probably carry Austin through the match, but I just don't know you know, you got to be careful with some of that.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I agree with your assessment of all that. Even though Steve Austin said after his match with Kevin Owens, he might be open to something else down the line. It's still another year. It's still more time. That's like,
yeah,
that's one of those decisions he needed to make months before Royal Rumble, so we can get into the training mode.
Yeah.
And since we're not talking about it like that, I don't know if he's had time to prepare for something outside of just a moment.
No. And I don't know if it would be... I think us as fans would build it up to be... If it was advertised, I think we'd build it up to be more. And that I don't think it can live up to what we want it to be, just because Austin's up there in age. He does have bad knees, and Punk's up there in age. They're not young. They're not... When this match was looked at like 2013, 2012, 2013, in that time era, there was a whole lot of differences. We're 10 years after that now. So, I mean, that's a huge change. Not to say Punk can't go, and Punk's not in the best, some of the best shape of his life. I just don't know if that's where we need to go. And I think your Punk-Seth story is being told, and that's where we're going to go. It's more than obvious what's going to happen. And Punk coming back after 10 years to win the Rumble is the perfect story. I mean, it's the perfect story that's going to set him on his way. And then he can beat Seth Rollins. And, unfortunately, he's probably going to turn Rollins heel in this run, but that's okay.
Yes. It's a good thing that he excels in that role as well, so...
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, right. So we're in the back here. Damian Priest yells at Judgment Day Junior League for their loss, and Dominic tells Damian they need to be careful because the Creeds are the real deal. From there, we get a really good solid match. Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the WWE World Title. It's not the Raw World Title. It's the WWE World Title. Anywho, what are you doing, Kat? We get a solid match. We get a great back and forth. Jey Uso got a great showcase in this match. Seth Rollins giving him everything he got. They did make Jey Uso look strong in this. The only thing is, it was hard to really buy into any of it. I know that, people looked at it and could say, oh, we thought Jey might take this title, but I mean... There's no reason for Seth to lose this title, so I don't care how many close calls. It was a great match. I mean, Jey Uso looked strong coming out of this match. He didn't look weak. He didn't look bad. He looked more like main event Jey Uso than I've seen him in a long time. Seth Rollins looked incredible, still selling the backstory. And then, of course, after the match is over, Seth Rollins gets the pin with a pedigree and then a stomp at 23 minutes. After the match, Rollins doesn't even help. Jey Uso just kind of pulls Jey Uso up to his feet. Jey rolls out, and out of nowhere gets Claymore by Drew McIntyre, then dropped through the announce table. Rollins is out here, and he gets knocked down. And really, this match was a good, solid match, but this match was almost meaningless in the sense of the match was about the bigger story, which is Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, and the whole roster. It seems like that he's pissed off at right now. So what I have to assume is we're building to Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, where Drew McIntyre is going to seem like a bigger threat. I just don't see Drew McIntyre winning that, unfortunately. Where he goes from there, I don't know. But I'm assuming we're going to get Drew and Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble. Anybody who thinks CM Punk and Seth Rollins are wrestling at Rumble is off the rocker, because there's no logical sense in there. That's like rushing a story that's WrestleMania caliber match. I'm sorry. And I think we're going to get Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, because we know Roman's going to face Cody at night 2. Seth should be facing CM Punk at night 1. These are the stories that are being written. We can see it. I don't know what you do with Drew from here. That's going to be interesting. Where does Damian Priest come into all of this? When is he going to drop the Money in the Bank? I don't know if he ever drops the Money in the Bank. I don't know if he gets screwed by his own people. I don't think we're going to see the Money in the Bank play in until Damian Priest is kind of basically. It's either going to happen as he's being separated from Judgment Day or after he separates from Judgment Day. Hell, we don't even know who's holding the briefcase because we really haven't seen it on TV. The last person we saw holding it was Rhea Ripley. So who knows who has this briefcase? And is ownership 9/10 of the law? So, I mean, it's very interesting on what we're getting here. Your thoughts on Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso?
See, I don't think this was a waste of a match. And yes, I understand your point about the angle afterwards, continuing that story. But I felt between the video package they did on Jey Uso earlier in the evening and the match itself, the point was to show his star appeal. We already knew coming into this match he was not winning. We all had that predicted. But the point was to show his star appeal for what they can do with him in the future, whether that's short term, whether that's long term.
Yeah.
There was a time when if you said, "What Uso are you?" even I was like, I couldn't tell them apart. I actually thought that Jimmy was going to be the bigger star at one point if they separated them because of his time on Total Divas, and there's just that he was just the more known Uso.
Yeah.
But the work that Jey Uso has done over these last few years with the Bloodline, and up to where he is now, I'm just like, it's about continuing to invest star appeal regardless of the results of the matches at this point. Yeah. And it's working. He's getting more over, and that is the point for his character. That is his story right now.
So Jey Uso's the Shawn Michaels and Jimmy Uso's the Marty Jannetty? Just don't go...
It looks that way right now.
Just don't go watching Partying with Marty Jannetty. I guess Marty Jannetty's got his own YouTube thing going now, Party with Marty. So, yeah. Anywho.
Oh,
I know. Lord. No, Jey Uso looked great in this match, but I don't, as close as it was.
See, I didn't invest in the idea of him winning. Because like I said, we all saw that one. But I invest in the idea of just liking him as a character, liking him as a person, and continuing to watch to see what he does next. What does Drew McIntyre do at WrestleMania? Maybe it's a final battle, against Jey Uso.
Oh. No, we know where Jey Uso's going at WrestleMania. That's in the books. That's been talked about by the brothers forever. So,
it's been talked about, but we don't actually know that at this point.
I 90% sure we're going to get Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania. I think we're going to get...
It's very possible, yes.
I think at the Royal Rumble, that's going to start playing out more. Whether Jey eliminates Jimmy or Jimmy again eliminates Jey, costing Jey his title shot, and Jey finally getting fed up. Hopefully, maybe we get a visit by Rikishi in this to try to make peace between the brothers. I did it for the Jimmy. I did it for the Jey. Anyways, I think there's a lot there, but I think we're pushing that out until after Royal Rumble. I think when we get to Royal Rumble, we build the road to WrestleMania. I think we're going to see that. Drew, I don't know exactly what you do with Drew. Maybe he gets another major match with Sammy. Because, you have that feud. But I don't know. There's a lot of open things out there that are going to be interesting. But I know there's a lot of things. I mean, we know Orton's probably... It looks like Orton and Roman at Rumble. And then Cody's probably going to beat Roman at WrestleMania, which is the story. And then Cody will be on SmackDown where Randy is. And I see Randy getting jealous at Cody for winning that title. And you're going to have Cody and Randy go through the summer, which will be good. So I don't know what we're going to do with Randy. CM Punk versus Seth. I think you have CM Punk beat Seth. And then you can start other storylines. We could get Drew versus CM Punk after that.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
So there's a lot of interesting scenarios.
They're planting those seeds.
Yeah,
they're definitely planting those seeds.
They're planting a lot of seeds.
I don't know. Obviously, we don't know when. But I think they're still working the angle between Drew and Jey.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, when they actually do it, don't know. But obviously, those seeds, just even tonight, you can tell they're going to continue that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll accumulate somewhere.
And maybe we get Drew and Jey at Rumble. Maybe we get it on the end of the year, the beginning of the year. Maybe Jimmy shows up to cause... Maybe Jimmy comes and tries to help his brother against Drew, who's attacking the bloodline. and then screws up and accidentally hits Jay. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do to start triggers there too.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, I guess our partner in crime, the lead.
Never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Now, we should be back. Now that I open the mics back up. Now, if I hear myself, there might be a brief echo. We are back. Oh, what a... The whole system decided to crash on us, folks. We do apologize for that. Ooh. There we go.
Now that I open the mics back up.
That'll be an interesting one. We apologize for all the things that happen when they happen like that. Oh, I hit something. I shouldn't have hit something. Okay. Let's close that back. Oh, how did you get so screwed up now? Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, bear with us as we get everything back into... The whole system just decided to go plop on me. Poo-poo, de poo-poo.
Oh, those lines.
Yeah, well, we're good, and then we went bad, and then everything happened for a reason. But anyways, crap, I don't even know what we're talking about at the moment.
We're basically at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Drew had given Uso a claymore.
Yep, and so we were discussing the story, what we see coming out of this, and how we see it going from here. And, yeah. There wasn't a whole lot more to add into it, but yeah, we are back. We are fixed. We are live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for bearing with us. If you're watching this later and it looks really interesting, well, we had a technical error. The whole system just decided to crash out on us. And so we had to reboot, get restarted. So if there's a weird break, we apologize. But we thank you for sticking through and being here with us. To me, it was an average, solid Raw. I don't think there was anything spectacular or amazing. You started off really good. We closed off with a good match. Everything else was kind of bad to me. But we got there. Your thoughts on Raw as a whole?
Overall, see, I have a slightly more optimistic look at tonight. And maybe it's because the competition is just doing so poorly. But really, it's like, again, like I said at the top of the show, tonight was not an amazing Raw in the sense of big angles and surprise returns and whatever. But it was very solid. And I thought that was even just better than just an average show. I thought it was a good solid show.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I have that more optimistic look at it. Because with every match, even in the things that you may have not necessarily enjoyed, and notice I said match, not segment.
Yeah.
Every match, with the talent they had, the stories they were trying to tell within those contexts, was very good.
Yeah.
So it's like, this might have just been one of the best Raws of the year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No, understandable. I think we have a different opinion. That's fine. That's what it's all about. Anyways, so Mr. Z, if you're watching this later, no call, no show. So yeah.
I mean, you were on air yesterday saying, "Hey, can I get on the show tonight?" Where were you?
Yeah, we told you could be here, but
now here's hoping that there's no emergency. I hope you're Hope you're doing good. Hope your family's good, etc. But if it's just something that like you fell asleep, yeah, we're gonna have a talk, bud.
Oh. No, he was awake at some point because I guess he got the last group chat. I guess you sent it through the video through this last video conference here through the group chat instead of just the Mine and You chat. He's right up to date, so maybe he's been on here. He just doesn't want to say anything. But anyways, technical issues aside, I think we had a pretty good show. We're up to 145 subscribers, which is awesome, and we're still growing. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this later on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. Become part of the fastest growing wrestling podcast out here. And make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share this out with everyone. We will be back Wednesday night for Dynamite. A busy night on Dynamite. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Dynamite. I won't hold my breath. And then SmackDown, which is supposed to be a tribute to the troops. SmackDown, which it depends on how they play this out. Hopefully they give us something good and I don't totally blast it. We do have Punk going to be on SmackDown this week. So hopefully that should be interesting. You have something to say?
Yes. So SmackDown, I understand it's not its own tribute to the Troop Show, and you've already explained that on the Weekly Roundup podcast. But I expect to have montages. I expect to see video packages that still do it justice in that respect.
That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. And then we'll be around for Sunday or Saturday for that other show that barely has a pulse, which I think is only Brian Danielson that is the pulse of that show nearly. And then we'll be back Sunday with the Weekly Roundup at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and hopefully Mr. Z will be able to join us for that show on time. But anyway,
the regularly scheduled show.
This has been the Value of Wrestling. This has been your Monday Night Raw review for December 4th. It is now December 5th. We are way into the midnight hour, burning that midnight oil. And I'm going to get out of here. It's hot tub time for sure. And we are going to say goodnight. Fair adieu. I guess I could do it the old school style because I haven't done it the last couple of times because I just haven't wanted to face the buttons. But you know, like I always say, till the next episode. Oh, believe that. We are out. We are bye.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit.